What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Nerding with 30. Now, I know this is completely different because now I'm on a completely different channel. I don't know what's happening right now. Why is my camera not working? Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, well, let me get that fixed. I don't know why that's doing what it's doing. Give me a second. Don't know why it's paused like that. Let's see here. My camera is locked. Oh, that's why. There we go. What is happening here, though? Oh, boy. Nothing but professionalism here, folks. Nothing but professionalism. Well, this is going to be good. Because now, don't know why this is happening. Fantastic. Let's see. Starting stream. That's short break. Don't know why my keys are messed up. That's not working. Fantastic. All right, give me 1 second. We're gonna have to redo all my scenes here. Awesome. Like I don't know why any of this is doing what it's doing. Yeah, I did know about that, Jesse. Video capture device, properties. We were just fine. Everything was fine, and now everything is not fine. All right, let me move my camera over. Nope. Why? What is happening right now? I have no control over anything. Okay, great. Fantastic. I'll do this the old way. Sorry about this, guys. Yeah, different show. Same type of show, but we're talking about entertainment stuff instead of what we do in the mornings. You can beat the game and not learn the killing curse. Yeah. During my playthrough on stream, Stealth, I had to. Jesse told me that I missed it, and I had to reload the game and then pick it again. I picked the wrong one. All right. Sorry about this mess up here, guys. Yeah, see, it won't let me grab this. Let's see here. That's the display. 30. Yeah, it won't let me grab my camera for some weird ass reason. All right. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it won't let me grab it. Oh boy. I think I might have to reboot the whole system. All right. Give me 4 minutes. I gotta end the stream, which means I have to like redo the whole thing, I think. Maybe I don't. Shoot. It's just nothing's working. Still number 1 spot. That's right, Jesse. It's so weird. Like everything just got messed up, and I don't know why. I can't click on anything. I wonder. But that's working, but I can't click my camera. My camera is off. It won't let me click my camera. Which is so weird. And now it won't find my camera. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna close it down, and I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry about this, guys. All right. It looks like I didn't have to get go off the thing, but I still have to recalibrate my system here, which is you're seeing behind the magic. There we go. All right. We should be good. Everything's fine now. Let me see. Camera 1, camera 2, and that'll work for right now. All right, we got our screen up. Fantastic. All right. So welcome to Nerding with 30. I do appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us tonight over here on our third channel. If you'd like to support us in any way, shape, or form, because there is no memberships over here on this channel, if you like to, you can always do the membership over on our other channel. It's in the description down below. On today's show, I want to talk about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I just watched it. I kind of want to give you my thoughts on it. The overall gist of tonight is it has the bubble burst for Hollywood, for superhero films and whatnot. Everything that's happening with DC films, with James Gunn doing the reboot of the phases and taking out certain people, and the Flash movie coming up, with Quantumania out, and how good or not good it did this past weekend. We're going to go over the box office numbers. I also have another video that went up earlier today over here on Nerdy with 30. And we're also, like I said, we're going to talk about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So if you like what we do here, if you like the conversation that we have here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe. I just had to change it up. After playing Hogwarts and games all the time, this morning I didn't even know what to do as far as a topic. I threw something together, but I don't feel like I'm giving you the best content that I could give, right? Like, I'm just kind of like flying by the seat of my pants. I'm not really, I'm enjoying, but I'm not enjoying, right? And apparently the way the viewership is happening over on our other channel, when I do gameplay, not really a lot of people come out for gameplay. They like when I talk more. And since I did the gameplay for 2 weeks for Hogwarts Legacy, it kind of like ruined my algorithm as far as people thought it was gameplay, and now they don't come out for the shows, and no one's watching the other shows and whatnot. So we're gonna try to get back. We're gonna try to get back to the actual doing stuff for this when I have nothing for that channel, and vice versa. So we're gonna be jumping back and forth. So appreciate it. Let's see. All right, so let's start off with Quantumania. Okay, right now Quantumania is out and about. People are watching it. People are enjoying it, and this is not a hate fest of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, right? This is just me showing you the box office and how the media kind of spins things in a way to make it look like it's better than what it actually is. Okay, so let's look at this right now. Okay. The opening weekend, we're talking just the opening weekend domestically, okay? Even though internationally it's doing good, it's got 129 million domestically or international, it's got 120 million domestic, but the opening weekend as of right now, with the 4-day total, is 120. But they use the 4-day weekend because they want to make it sound like it's a better picture. If we look at the $106 million for the 3-day weekend, right? We're not taking Thursday in effect. This is not what you do. You don't take the Thursday in effect. I think it made like 17 million on the Thursday, which is fine. But it's been released now for 5 days. They don't have the Tuesday box office yet, but it's got $106 million. And if you look at the other movies, if we look at Ant-Man 1, you can see that it had a budget of 130 million for the first one. And it ended up with 519 million, which is pretty good because if you triple this, it's about 360 million based on, you know, different avenues for advertisement, for budget and everything. They needed to make around $360 million back to be profitable with the first Ant-Man. As you can tell, it had $57 million domestic opening in the first 3 days. So if we go to the domestic opening box office and look at that, you can tell that it did 22, 16, and 15. Now, it did a 14% drop. It did a 22% drop, in the 3 days that it was out. Now, if we go to Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is number 2, it had a budget, I think, of 160 million, and it made 75 million domestically opening for the weekend. So obviously you can see it's already trending 105, $106 million for the third movie is better. And you would have to believe it would be, considering it's the third Ant-Man film in the list. Overall, this one made 622 million worldwide. Okay. And if you look at the domestic box office for Quantumania, it made 33, 23, 18, and it had a 30% drop, and then it had a minus 21.3% drop. Now, if we look at the two comparisons, 22, 19, 15, 33, 23, 18, the second movie did better in the opening weekend. Now we look at the third one, which we are at now, and you see the 46, 33, 25, and you're like, this looks really good. But the second week drop-off, if you also look at Ant-Man, it only opened up in 3,856 theaters, the very first one. The second one opened up in 4,200 theaters, and the third one opened up in an additional 136 or 140 more theaters. So right now, this budget for this film is around $200 million, which is $40 million more than the last one, which is $80 million more than the first one. Okay, or $70 million more than the first one. That's what we know so far as international advertisement, and also they did Super Bowl ads and whatnot. So that's $7 million a spot. I think they ran it like 2-3 times, so that's like another $21 million to run the actual commercials on top of the delays they had and whatnot. So this is the highest budget for this movie, and as of right now, if it has the same amount of drop off. Now, there's an article talking about that I talked about earlier today. The drop off for Ant-Man and the Wasp, or for all Marvel movies, is around 2.6, 3.2, week over week or whatever. Okay, so overall, if it needs to, that's the multiplier, right? 2.6 to 3.2 is the multiplier. If it does that, then this movie is not going to make its money back. It needs to make around $630 million to $666 million to make its money back for this movie. Okay, which is going to be a hard hill to climb for this. Okay, it's going to be a hard hill to climb for this. Again, this is me not hating on Quantumania. I have not seen it. Okay, but let's look at the total box office from Marvel films, okay, from the franchise, okay? You look at opening weekends, and you look at movies that made it and didn't make it. Now, I'm going to flip this upside down here a little bit. We're going to go to opening, but we're going to look at, this is the re-releases, so we don't need to look at that, okay? Incredible Hulk came out, and the opening, it made $55 million. It ended up making $134 million gross. Now, obviously, it's already better than that, okay? Ant-Man number 2 or 1 is the second lowest overall. Okay. Oh, actually, that's not true. Let's go to lifetime gross. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's do it this way instead. Okay. That's the re-releases. And yeah, so Quantumania right now obviously is the lowest because it just came out. Okay. Incredible Hulk's at $134 million. Okay, now you got to remember when that movie came out in 2008. Overall, I think that you know what? Let's do something real fast. Let's go look at inflation calculator. Okay, let's go from, what was it, 2008? 2008. If in 2008, and what did it make? It made, let's look at the inflation. Okay. Then in 2023, calculated, it would have made $187 million worldwide. Okay. So, Incredible Hulk right now made $55 million opening weekend. Internals made $71 million. And this was the movie that was saving people's lives, just to let you guys know, because when it came out, it was saving lives. It ended up with 164. This is lifetime gross, by the way. This is not worldwide. This is lifetime gross domestically. Okay. It's 164 million domestically. Captain America, First Avenger, made 65 million opening weekend, and it sits at 28th right now at 176 million dollars domestically. Ant-Man made 57 million opening weekend, okay, and it ended up with 180 million domestically. Thor, 65 million, made 181 million domestically. Black Widow, which didn't show up in theaters, it was both at the exact same time, really killed it, but it made $80 million opening weekend and made 183 million domestically. Thor, The Dark World, 85 million, and it made 206 million domestically. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp made 216 million lifetime gross domestically, and it made 75 million. Now, if we look at this and see 106 million, let's go with the opening here and wedge this in here. It sits around 17, I think, overall, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 17th on the list right now, which is around the middle because there's 31 films, right? So it's a little below halfway for Quantumania, okay? Again, it opened up in 4,000 theaters. The only other movie that opened up in February with a better opening right now is Black Panther from Marvel Films, which obviously, if you look at this, Black Panther is number 3 overall lifetime domestically. Okay, Black Panther, and it made $202 million opening weekend. Now, that's what I want to look at. Okay, Black Panther opening weekend made 102, and it went on to make 700 million, or 700 million for gross. But if you look at Black Panther worldwide, made $1.3 billion. Okay, $1.3 billion. Kevin Feige said that this Quantumania is the most, the best movie since the Endgame, and I don't think that's true. Okay. Now, as you can see, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I'll talk about in a little bit, made $181 million opening, okay, which is $172 million more, okay, $172 million or $173 million more. I'm sorry, $73 million more than The Wasp, and that came out last year with the last one of Phase 4, and it ended up making $858 million, and this movie did make money, okay? We go back to the list here, and if it sits, and because it sits at, let's go back to the opening here, because Quantumania sits at $106 million, and if it does get the 67 minus second weekend box office, it's dead in the water. Just letting you guys know. If the movie drops between 62 and 67%, it will not hit its overall budget that it needs to make. It will lose millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, all depending on what happens this next weekend. So you look at like Spider-Man Homecoming, made $117 million, made $334 million. It ended up making $880 million. This is what they would like it to do. This is what they want it to be around about, but I don't think that we're going to get this. The ratings right now for Quantumania are the lowest, tied or the lowest on Rotten Tomatoes right now. And again, Rotten Tomatoes is not the one-all, be-all, but at the same time, a lot of people look at this site as gospel. I personally don't, but it's at a 48%. Okay, 48%, and a complete opposite of 84% for the audience score. Okay, now I never, and you guys know this, I never look at this and say, oh, that's what it is, but I take the audience score and I take the critic score, no matter what it is, and I kind of go halfway in between. Well, halfway in between is around a 68, 66% is what we're looking at here for the movie. Well, overall, if we go to internals, okay, the Eternals has a 47% with a 77% rating as well. This movie lost hundreds of millions of dollars for Marvel. Okay. Now I'm leading into a little bit more of what potentially could be happening, right? Is there fatigue? Is there a way where you look at Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, okay? You look at that. We go back to the franchise here. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, right now sits, with $453 million domestically. Now, I know it seems like it's impressive, but the average ticket price right now is $13. The average ticket price from Black Panther, the other Black Panther came out in 2018, was around $8 to $9. So we're talking about another $3 to $4 increase. So for every third person coming into the theater, that's how many you're getting an extra person. Okay, so theaters right now, and we kind of saw this way back when Captain Marvel was in theaters. The Captain Marvel was in theaters, and there was empty seats. We went on opening day for Captain Marvel. They told me the theater was completely sold out. The movie started, there was 4 rows empty. Okay, 4 rows empty inside the theater. Okay, and I was just one of many people telling me this on the same thing. So I'm getting the same results right now for people that are talking about Quantumania. They went to the theater, and the theater was not full in any way, shape, or form. What's going on, Creature? Okay. So there's lots of things going on, and they're going to swing it because there's articles already out that Quantumania is the #1 movie in the box office. Well, obviously, there's no movies out right now, and if it came out any other time, it would have lost to Avatar, but obviously they very strategic in when they drop when it comes out and when it doesn't come out. So Quantumania, in my opinion, based on the numbers that it's hitting right now, will not make the $650 million that it has to make. If there is a 67% drop this week 2 of this movie is another loss. Now, we look at the losses that they had. Black Widow lost money. Shang-Chi, I hate using this word, just barely made money for them because it had the incentives for where they filmed. Okay, they had $50 million incentives, so it only made it was a $150 million budget, even though it was a $200 million budget film. If they didn't get the incentives for that film, they would have not made their money back, and they would have lost money on Shang-Chi. But with the incentives, that it's part of the thing. It cost them $150 million for Shang-Chi, and they did make a profit with that movie. Barely, but they did. Okay? Eternals lost lots of money. Okay? So you have Black Widow. You have Shang-Chi, Eternals. Then you have the best movie in the whole launch of Phase 4 was Spider-Man No Way Home, and that wasn't even a Disney Marvel Studios film, but it's still in Phase 4. They get 25% of that. That's the most profitable movie they had, basically, because they didn't have to dish out the funds. Okay? Then Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness comes out, and that did very well for them, right? That did very well for them. It made just under $1 billion. $1 billion. Okay, it made $187 million opening weekend. Okay, and then after that, we had Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder was an absolute travesty. Okay, made $144 million opening weekend. Everyone said, "Oh, it's a fantastic movie," and then the rest of the world kicked in. $760 million is nothing to bat an eye on. It was a $200 million picture. They needed to make around $600 to $650 million, so they made about $110, $120 million profit there. And if you look at week 1, right? Week 1, $69 million. Day 2, $42 million. Day 3, $32 million. And then let's go to the following Friday. Okay, from $69 million on Friday here, the word gets out throughout the week, and then the following Friday, $13 million. From $42 million on this Saturday to $18 million, and the movie absolutely got crushed. If it wasn't for the opening weekend, right, because they only made about $120 million overall, which, surprisingly enough, is the amount of money they made. They made $144 million. So the first opening weekend basically was the profit after the long run of Love and Thunder, which was an absolute travesty of a movie. It was terrible. Okay. Same thing. If you look at Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, we go to the domestic box office. It made $84 million opening day. It made $56 million on Saturday and $40 million. You go to the following Friday, it went from an $84 million to $17 million. Okay. That's a 78% drop from one Friday to the next. If Quantumania goes through the same thing, it is dead in the water. It will lose hundreds of millions of dollars for Marvel and the universe here for them. Okay? Again, this is me not hating on it. Budget of Love and Thunder was $250 million. Was it, Krebsy? Well, then I don't know if they made money, because I would say if it was $700 million. What did it make? It made 760. Well, they still made profit. I would say they made about $50 million profit. Okay, about $50 million. If it was $250 million, you got to do about 2.5 times the budget. So 2.5 times, it would be $500 million, and then an additional 200. So about $700 million. So I would say that they made about $60 million profit in that. Okay. So this is just what we have so far. Now, the next movie coming out is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I think will do better than what the other movies have been doing. Okay. We have Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which made $146 million opening weekend, and it made $863 million worldwide. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 made $94 million. Okay, the very first one, and it grossed $772 million. I see Guardians of the Galaxy, just because it's a standalone third trilogy, third film in the trilogy of Guardians of the Galaxy, it'll do very well. I think also because James Gunn has to do with it, and he's got a little bit of buzz going on right now. I think Guardians of the Galaxy does better. But then we're talking about the Marvels, okay? The Marvels comes out. That movie is going to absolutely get bombed. You're going to see the labels that happened with the Marvels last time, Captain Marvel last time. There's going to be a lot of drama going on with this one this time around. Let me see what you guys are saying in chat. Question: Ant-Man 3 will hit or break the franchise if this movie sells well enough. Regardless, if it doesn't sell enough, it's going to completely change. They're moving on. They're going to be doing the Young Avengers and whatnot moving forward. Are we saying the bubble just burst or asking when it did? No, I think the bubble bursted during Phase 4. And I think more and more people are starting to realize that the bubble burst, and this is the reason. Because let's be honest, Creature, Multiverse of Madness, the only reason it made as much money as it did because it was right in the coattails of Spider-Man, and people thought it was going to be a link to what WandaVision was. It was like the payoff, but it wasn't. Okay, the reviews that I saw of Quantumania, which I think is interesting because I haven't seen it myself. The CGI that I did see from the trailer looks horrendous. It looks terrible. Okay, it almost looks as bad as Black Panther: Wakanda Forever that I just watched, and the CGI in that movie was absolutely terrible as well compared to other films before. You would think they were getting better, but they're getting worse. And we all know the drama going around where people don't want to work for Marvel and what's happening. But the fight scenes, the mega fight scenes, the cookie cutter thing that they're doing for all these Marvel films, it's starting to get old. I had complaints with the fight scene in Black Widow. The Shang-Chi final scene I had a problem with in my review with that as well. Eternals, I had a problem with the fight scene at the end there as well. Like, all of these things just look bad and dull, and they just look dated, right? They look dated. Nothing is really like sitting up. Now, obviously, there's people that are excited for these films, and more power to you, right? But you're paying more money for less of a film. Just letting you know, right? The quality of the film is actually suffering. Okay, they messed up on MODOK's Mask. I just wait until they release Ant-Man 3 to Disney Plus. Yeah, I'm not watching it. I'm glad I didn't pay for Love and Thunder. I'm glad I didn't pay for Black Panther, and I'm glad I didn't pay for Quantum. It's not franchise fatigue. It's poorly done and lazy films. The next Marvel movie in 2023 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Kraven the Hunter is coming out October 6th, 2023. That surprises me. Well, that's also Sony. That's a Sony picture. You can't throw those in. Morbius, Venom, Spider-Man, they're all part of Sony. They're not part of Marvel Studios. Love and Thunder belongs on the shelf right next to Star Wars Episode 2. It's a crime against humanity section. It is terrible, Creature. Love and Thunder was absolute travesty. I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be good at all. Well, it might not be good, Sean, but it's got goodwill going into it, right? Because of 1 was, people liked 1, 2 was good, kind of like 1 better than 2, right? And then 3 is going to come out, and that's like the farewell to Guardians of the Galaxy, basically, right? I think it'll do better than what Quantumania is doing right now. I mean, I'll put it out there. Look, if you look at Guardians of the Galaxy 1, let me go back here. If you look at Guardians of the Galaxy 1, it made $94 million opening weekend. If you look at Ant-Man 1, it made $57 million. Ant-Man 2 made $75 million. Well, Guardians made $94 million, their first one, right? Volume 2 made $146 million. So I'm going to project right now, I'll say it, I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 makes around, here, let me see what we got here. I think it makes around what this is right here, $202 million. Okay? Only because it's the cast from the original Phase 1, 2, and 3 type of thing, right? I think it'll get the goodwill of the people that watch it, and they'll bring it in. From what I heard about Ant-Man 3 is that Kang was good, but the rest was meh. Well, what I heard about Quantumania is that basically it's filler. Quantumania takes place, and it's the filler between Loki Season 1, and Loki season 2. And this blows my mind that this is true. Again, I haven't seen it, but usually you would think the television shows is the filler for the films, right? Not the opposite way around, where all of a sudden the movie is the filler for the different of the TV shows. Okay. Now, Loki season 1 was not good, right? Krebsy, we know that. Okay. And them saying that it's the filler between Loki season 1 and season 2, I'm getting bad vibes here, considering that Multiverse of Madness I thought was supposed to be, right? Sean says it's 100% filler. See, that's terrible if that's true. Okay? Because you guys know and saw me, I used to be really hyped for Marvel films, right? I covered everything from Disney Plus. I covered all the shows and movies up to that point, right? And the problem is that I thought WandaVision, I was waiting for the payoff, the continuation of what was happening, and we never got that. It literally meant nothing. Okay, now we're watching Loki, and they leave that cliffhanger of what happens, and it breaks into the multiverses, and we're all hyped for it. And What If comes out, and Multiverse of Madness comes out, and No Way Home comes out, and it's all kind of just right. I think a lot of people also don't even know who the hell Kang is. A lot of people that went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantumania have no idea because they never even saw Loki. Loki didn't get seen by very many people, right? All of Disney Plus hasn't been seen by very many people, okay, with the viewership and whatnot. So the whole multiverse, the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, the amount of stuff, we see it happening with Star Wars, we see it happening with Marvel. Is it too much? Are superheroes too much? Are there too many shows? Like, who cares about Agatha Harkness? Who cares about Echo? Who cares about Ironheart? Who cares about all these other films, right, that are coming out? You look at, what do we got here? We got untitled stuff coming out. We have the Marvels, we have Captain America: New World, we have Thunderbolts, we have Blade, we have Fantastic Four, we have Avengers: Kang Dynasty. Okay, 2025, like, that's the payoff, right? That's the payoff. Okay, that's the payoff. The Kang Dynasty, May 2nd, 2025. Then you have an untitled Marvel movie, Avengers: Secret Wars, untitled Marvel movie. Even if Avengers: The Kang Dynasty is fantastic, and so is Avengers: Secret Wars, all the stuff leading up to it so far in Phase 4 has been absolute subpar. I'm not going to say it's trash, okay? But it's been subpar compared to Phases 1, 2, and 3. Now, were there bad movies in Phases 1, 2, and 3? Sure, but the stories and the connection points and whatnot were pretty good connection-wise. Now there's just too much, right? Now there's just a little too much of what's going on. Is Loki Season 2 coming out soon? I believe so, yeah. It's slated for the summer. The next Marvel show is Secret Invasion. That should be in March or April. Oh, I thought that got pushed back, didn't it? I thought the next show for Marvel was Loki. The first few phases had backstory, character development, and you could tell that they were invested in telling a long-term story. But from WandaVision on, the shit has been pure trash. Yeah, I agree. Kang is definitely a to Z list character in my opinion. Loki and Love and Thunder are trash. Love and Thunder, when I watched it, was really bad. Let me switch a little bit to Wakanda Forever. Okay. That movie is an hour and a half, way too long. It was 2 hours and 43 minutes. That movie could have been summed up in 1 hour, 40 minutes. Okay. 30 minutes could have been summed up. There was so much fluff. Now, if you think I'm being like harsh because of, Chadwick Boseman died and I should show some respect, has nothing to do with it, right? The opening, I'm like, fine. It's the tradition, it's the send off to Chadwick Boseman, and T'Challa inside the film. I kind of think it's crappy that they didn't really do anything. They just said that he died, but from an undisclosed virus or whatever, right? They could have done something else. They could have had a worthy opponent. They could have had the opponent be Namor. And that is why Wakanda had the to fight to bring him back, right? Because Namor was taking out the protector of Wakanda so he could invade Wakanda or something. But no, we get that he gets there and just shows up. And there was one moment in the film that kind of just like, I couldn't let it go. Okay. So the Queen and Shuri were talking on the beach of Wakanda. And all of a sudden, Namor, or Kukulkan, or Namor, okay, showed up and knew exactly where they were and who they were. And I was like, what? I was like, what is happening right now? Okay. It's called Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and Black Panther wasn't in the film until the last 10 minutes. Okay. And even then, I was just like, bro, it was so boring. Okay. My wife, who is not judgmental in any way towards movies, she just watches the movie. Is like, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Right. She was like bored out of her mind. She's like, how much time is left in this? I was like, an hour and 43 minutes. She's like, oh my God. She checked out. She checked out way before I did. Okay. The fight scenes, the fight scene on the bridge, the whole reason they're chasing Riri Williams, who all of a sudden is just better than Tony Stark in every way, shape, or form, right? Building stuff, building the vibranium for her science fair project, and then the government takes it. Like, just the whole plot was just filler. It was just garbage. The fight scenes, M'Baku, right, who's this big freaking strong man who basically, you know, could have gave Chadwick Boseman, or I should say T'Challa, a run for his money, goes up against Namor. Namor gives him a quick, you know, punch to the chest, shatters his chest. He flies 20 feet back and whimpers like a little baby. And then when Shuri becomes Black Panther, she falls down in front of him. He stands up and does this arm wrestle maneuver type thing. It's like, yeah, she's good. Like, what are we talking about, right? It's like these little things. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was basically a really shitty origin story for Namor, which basically, again, just filler, because they were fighting so he could attack the world to protect, because of Jesus, I'm losing my train of thought. This is how bored I am with Wakanda Forever. The vibranium, right? He wants to save the vibranium to get him away from their city. And yet he wants Wakandas to join forces, and then she saves him at the end because revenge is not good and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, now they're going to lead up to the next, Black Panther 3, whenever that is. Okay, I was just bored. It was just a bad movie. It was just filler, literally filler for what happens next. It wasn't any substance inside that. Namor was just a filler character. They have to give him Uncle Ben's death his name, live forever in Black Panther 2. They ruined Namor. He had much better presence in the comics than this movie. Yeah, it was bad. My wife, who is black, by the way, said she felt like Wakanda Forever was overly anti-black. What if Season 2 and Secret Invasion are early 2023, Loki's mid-2023, and Ironheart, Echo, and Agnetha slated for late 2023? No, Ironheart is literally pushed back, and it might be pushed back indefinitely. Echo is also pushed back or delayed indefinitely as of right now. They've completely changed what they were going to do. Feather flying shoes on Namor? Yeah, no, it wasn't shoes. They were in his ankles. They were in his ankles because she rips them out of his ankle. right? Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. When I put it into the Discord the other day. I think I put. Let me see what I did. I did the box office predictions. Where did I do it? No, film spoiler talk. I put in my phases. I said in phase 4, No Way Home was the best film in phase 4, and it wasn't even Disney film. Multiverse of Madness was number 2. Shang-Chi I had as 3, but I'll be honest. 3, 4, 5, 6, you could all just blend together. And the worst one was Thor: Love and Thunder. But I thought for a long time, I was like, you know what? Wakanda Forever could be the worst movie. But then I thought about how bad Thor: Love and Thunder was. I was like, no, definitely Thor: Love and Thunder. Because Thor: Love and Thunder is not even a movie. It's like bits and pieces merged together to make a film overall, but it's not a movie. What's going on, Brain? It's just a bad film. Phase 4, worst phase. Phase 4, 100% worst phase. I would like to look at, and I don't know if we can do this. I don't know if we can do this. I like to take phase 1, right? Take the movies. Obviously, I think phase 1 would be the lowest because it's brand new. Marvel was trying to sell and get people to come in, right? So overall, I think it's the least amount of money because now phase 4 is making more money than, like Shang-Chi. Well, overall, we have Black Widow, Eternals, and Shang-Chi in the bottom of the list. The only 2 other movies that were worse than Black Widow, Eternals, and Shang-Chi were Incredible Hulk and Captain America: The First Avenger. Okay. So phase 4, we have Black Widow at 3rd to last, Eternals 4th to last, Shang-Chi 5th to last. Okay. So you have those 3 movies. Then you have the 2 other films that made above, which is Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange, and then Black Panther. But obviously, you're looking at those movies; those are all characters from the older phases, right? Love and Thunder is my top 5 worst movies I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't even clarify it as a movie. Love and Thunder is worse than 7, 8, and 9 of Star Wars. Okay. Thor: Love and Thunder is worse, and I didn't even see this movie, Crystal Skull. I haven't seen anything Marvel since midpoint of Miss Marvel. Yeah, I watched the 3rd episode and I stopped. I guess that Namor is a wizard from Harry Potter stuff. Where's his wand? Okay, so now we're going from the box office for Ant-Man 3, not looking good for it, right? We're looking at Black Panther got the money it did because of, let's just say how it is, because people wanted to feel something for Chadwick Boseman. It was like a respect to go out and see it and support it because you liked Chadwick Boseman. It was a memorial, okay? But the movie itself was not a good movie. Okay? Not a good movie. So that's why it made its money. Okay? And now let's go to DC. Okay? DC is in bad shape. Okay? Didn't know you had this channel, but I just wanted to say MCU. I like that joke. Yeah, the MCU. Yeah, that's what Neurotic and all them say, right? They basically, and again, I won't tell you how Ant-Man is because I haven't seen it. When it comes out in 2 months, maybe less than that, I'll watch it by the time Guardians of the Galaxy comes out. Right by May, I think Ant-Man will be on Disney Plus. Now we look at the Flash. Okay, right now, let's be honest. Who's watching the Flash because of the Flash? Let me see a show of hands. Anybody watching the Flash to see the Flash? or after watching the trailer of the Super Bowl, you want to see Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck as Batman inside the Flash, right? Because no one wants to see the Flash, right? And the only reason they didn't cancel the Flash, okay, the only reason they didn't cancel the Flash, James Gunn didn't cancel the Flash, is because this is the key to making all the stuff that he's making, okay? The time travel that's going to happen, or what happens in the Flash, is the kickoff point of James Gunn's universe, okay? That's why it's so important. Dave Ross says, heck, you want to know how much I care about the MCU anymore? I went and seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey over going to Ant-Man just because I wanted to go to the theater. I just saw that, Dave. I saw an article. I was like, what is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? Is it like a murder thing taking place in the Winnie the Pooh like world? I want to see the Flash, but I hate Ezra, so I won't till it's cheap. Haven't seen the trailer. Couldn't care less. Yeah, the trailer, it looks good, Krebsy, only because Michael Keaton's in it. I almost put it in and I know Creature will get on me for this, but I almost put it in this perspective of most people like Rogue One for the last 3 minutes scenario with Darth Vader. I feel the same vibe is going to happen with The Flash. I think people that watch The Flash are only going to like the parts that has Michael Keaton in it. It's like memorberries, you know what I mean? Nostalgia. Yeah, exactly, Sean. The best thing about Flash is the return of Keaton. I want to see Ant-Man to see the bad guys and the Wasp Lady. The fact that you called her Wasp Lady. I can see you're a big fan. Big fan, Robert. Now, they did say Michelle Pfeiffer did a really good job in Ant-Man. They say Paul Rudd just showed up. Winnie the Pooh's an original, went public, so the fan made a horror movie, but it was 4 out of 10. Oh, because it's a public domain now? Interesting. I'm sad about Batgirl because I'm really looking forward to seeing Brandon Fraser as Firefly. Yeah, he was supposed to be Firefly. You'll never get to see it. Yeah, huge fan. I can tell. Wasp Lady. At this point, right, I'll ask the question again, right? Is superheroes, just in general, not MCU fatigue, not DC fatigue, but superhero, is there superhero fatigue? Has the superheroes become so popular it's become unpopular, right? Comic books were big for nerds, geeks, right? People that didn't have any friends when we were younger, okay? You read comic books because you were an outsider, okay? You weren't like the other people. And then all of a sudden now, the jocks, the cool kids, the rich people, they all saw something and they're like, "Oh, let's do this." And then because it became popular with everybody, okay, they started milking it and milking it and milking it and milking it, and they milked it where it's like raw. Okay? There's like nothing coming out left. Okay? I don't even think Kevin Feige cares at this point anymore. Okay? Like, you just look at the shows. They can't keep up with it. No, it's shitty writing fatigue. The Boys, Invincible, etc. are still popping off. I don't know if it's saturation or if it is just people that are making these films now are not... They're not fans of it. I just read an article. And I know people like the Andor series, but there was one director that did 3 episodes. I think he did episodes 5, 6, and 7 or something like that. And he says out loud he's not a fan of Star Wars. But yet he did the show, right? And I think there's more and more of stuff like this happening, as far as there's people, business is business, but the people that are making these films are not the same people that read the books read the comics, saw the animated series of these shows are not fans of this. They're people that are acting like they're fans and they're going to respect the stuff, and then they make the stuff they do, all right, and it doesn't come out very well. All right. John says Loki's good. You know, I'll be honest, John, when I did a review of every single episode, and I liked Loki in the very beginning. I thought it was interesting the way they were doing stuff. But what happened in Loki, where they basically say that Kang, or He Who Remains, basically everything you watched in phases 1, 2, and 3 was because he wanted it to happen. He had control of everything. And I was just like, that just breaks down everything. I think that was the straw that broke my back overall. They just shit on everything that came before and was like, oh yeah, well, the reason this is because he let it happen. This is what he's did. He predicts and does it all. So he let certain things happen. He let everything happened because He Who Remains did what he did. Not because Tony did it. Not because Doctor Strange did it. Plus, the pandemic made us burn through stuff really fast. No, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true, because if you look at all the shows came out week after week, you couldn't binge watch this stuff, right? And the films that came out were just bad films. Shang-Chi, Black Widow. Black Widow should have been was 10 years too late. Should have been in Hawkeye, and Black Widow should have had a film. And if they can't get their own films, they should have had one film together, and they should have made it in the theaters. It would have been much better for both of them. And now, Jeremy Renner probably won't even act anymore after this. Hopefully he recovers. Okay? Prayers go out to him and his legs and his body. Right? He's in bad shape. But Shang-Chi was bad. Eternals was bad. Right? All these films are just kind of whatever, Loki is the worst thing yet. Hasn't even seen Love and Thunder. Loki has the worst thing yet. I haven't seen Love and Thunder. Rebsy, Love and Thunder is worse than Loki. Right? Batgirl from Brandon Fraser said that the movie was already done and wasn't waiting for release. It got shelved. Oh yeah, it was 97% complete, Sean. They said it would have hurt the brand, is what they said. That's the reason they shelved it. Yeah, it's all right, John. A lot of people forget about a lot of stuff that happened in the shows. I don't think they were necessarily bad, just not top tier. I'm gonna say it was bad. You could say it wasn't top tier, Robert, but I'm gonna say it was bad. I think Shang-Chi, I said this before, okay? Black Widow would have been better if it was 10 years earlier, and if they didn't swap out Taskmaster, hashtag not my Taskmaster, okay? Also, if they didn't have that whole, I don't know, that whole fight scene on the epic fight scene where the air carrier falls out of the sky and they're just skydiving down the thing and no parachutes, and if they didn't have all that, right? Black Widow would have been better. Shang-Chi would have been better if they ended it at Act 2. Act 3 to me was absolute garbage. That's the big fight scene with the dragon and the water dragon and the demons and all that stuff. That was just absolute garbage. I think the story of Wing Wu was actually better than Shang-Chi, because at the end of the movie, you really don't know who Shang-Chi is or what he's about, right? You just know that he wanted revenge for the person that killed his mother, and his father was a badass, and Wing Wu was actually better. It would have been better if they actually did a story of Wing Wu instead of Shang-Chi, right? It's called Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, and we don't really see Shang-Chi or the Ten Rings until the very last second of the stuff. And obviously, he's the bestest ever because his father had the rings for thousands of years and mastered them, and yet Shang-Chi was the overall because his mother and him was a good balance, and he just knew it better than anyone. So he became more powerful, super fast with the rings. So Act 3 was bad. Then you go to Eternals. Eternals from top to bottom. Eternals would have been a better as a Disney Plus show. I think Eternals would have been better is each episode was a episode about each of the characters. It could have been 10 episodes, one episode per thing. Maybe they make it 11, or maybe they make it 10 episodes, and then the movie was the culmination of what the Disney Plus show would have been. But they didn't do that. They just kind of lumped everyone together, tried to make everything. They're all robots, but at the same time, one's deaf, right? Which makes no sense, right? Makes no sense. And why doesn't it make sense? Because the thing that made them, why would he make imperfections? Why would he make a deaf one and a fat one and a short one, right? It makes no sense whatsoever. Why would you make... I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to get it. Eternals is just bad overall. Okay. What came after Eternals? Eternals, then you had Spider-Man. Spider-Man was fine. It was good. Okay. Then you had Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. American Chavez was a wasted character. It was just a plot point, some MacGuffin in the film. They wasted Scarlet Witch. Then they show you that Scarlet Witch is dead, but Scarlet Witch is coming back. Bad. Just everything. Everything. All the movies so far have been subpar, which I guess I could agree with Robert Jones where he says not top tier. They're subpar, right? The best movie in Phase 4 is still the worst movie in any other phase. I wasn't a fan of the 4:3 aspect ratio, but the Snyder Cut for Justice League was good. The Snyder Cut for Justice League was better than the original Justice League. Now, there's a lot that goes on in that movie because Zack Snyder's daughter, died or whatever, and that's why he got off the project, and Josh Whedon had to finish it, and there's a whole big thing there. So, but overall, I thought Justice League was a good movie, but again, they didn't let it go. They didn't let it breathe, right? Shang-Chi was good up until the dragon showed up. It was just bad. Bad movie to me is something that turned off or fall asleep on. I've never really... Well, that's not true. I have fallen asleep. Well, let's see. I fell asleep during Love and Thunder, and I had to rewatch it. I fell asleep during Black Panther, Wakanda Forever for a little bit. I fell asleep for Eternals, and that was in the theater. Shang-Chi, I was just like, what? What's about Barry? MCU died after Phase 3. It's poetic that Endgame was what it was called, because overall, Endgame to me still a flawed film, right? Still a flawed film, but man, the culmination of phases 1, 2, and 3 with all the characters and stuff, it was perfect. And I don't think you could capture that again. Even if Kang's Dynasty comes out and it's a good film, it's still going to be a copy, right? Because that's the MO of Marvel, right? Start off, introduce a character you don't give a shit about, have a MacGuffin, have a big CGI fight at the end of the movie. I fast forward through Black Panther and Thor. I'm telling you, you could not watch Love and Thunder and Black Panther and still be 100% caught up. You don't have to watch any of those. And now, Sean even said it in chat that Ant-Man 3, Quantumania, is just filler. Right? Is just filler. I heard someone say that, and I was like, no. I was like, they were not going to make a movie filler for between Loki Season 1 and Season 2. But, boy. Was Love and Thunder, was Love and Thunder a long film? How long was that film? Yeah, production budget was $250 million for Love and Thunder. Worldwide box office is 3 times production budget, which is barely a profit. Yeah, Black Panther was 2 hours and 43 minutes. That movie could have been an hour and a half. Could have been an hour and a half. Issues in here? 2 hours and 14 minutes was Black Panther 1. And for some reason, they had to put an additional 30 minutes on a movie that had nothing to do with nothing. Hour and 59 minutes? Okay. For Love and Thunder. Let's talk about Robert Downey Jr. isn't returning as Iron Man. Is that official? I saw the headline, Sean. I didn't read the article. Did he say he's not coming back? Is he booked for something else? Because nothing's out of the question. Unless Robert Downey sees the writing on the wall and says, no, the bubble has burst and he doesn't want to be a part of it. Sorry, just who we shitting on tonight? We're not shitting on anybody, Sarge. Well, technically we are. I gotta make you. I'm gonna add you as a mod over here, Sarge. We're just talking about in general. Has the bubble bursted for superhero films? Are people burnt out with all these superhero films? Right? Do we have to see, like, how do we get back to what we were, what we had, where we didn't have that many films, but we did. We had like the X-Men films, we had like the Hellboy films, we had the Batman films, we had films spread about here and there, Superman every once in a while. But how do we get out of this funk now? Right? How do we get out of this? They're going to be stuck hiring a bunch of no names because nobody with the name going to associate with that shit. Right. Which is what I originally said months and months ago, maybe years ago now, Creature. I said that they should give no name actors the ability to become these characters. Right? Instead of taking these big name actors and bringing them in. Every actor says, "Oh, I'm not the movie," and then shows up in the movies. Yeah. Unlimited power. Downey or anyone could come back like Stan Lee did in the movie. That'd be funny to see. You know, after I watched Logan, I remember thinking if superhero movies are going to change after this, like it was going to shake up the genre. I never saw Logan, Barrier, so I don't know what you're talking about as like why you would think that. So I would have to I wanted to watch it, I just never did, because when that movie came out, I had a newborn son, so I didn't get to watch that. The way back is easy to spend 56 years developing backstory in the character development and the characters you want in the films going forward. You get out of this by teaching writers how to write 5, 6, not 56. Got it. Amazon needed to make the Boys movie. Since The Rock doesn't have to be a DC anymore, he could come to the MCU. I don't think he needs to be in the MCU. I don't want to see these major actors in it, man. We were having these conversations all the time, Krebsy. I heard that Spider-Man might lead the new Avengers in the Kang Dynasty movie. You know, we heard that a couple of, I guess it's about a year and a half ago. We actually had a conversation who could, before all these movies came out, we actually had a conversation. I don't know if it was on this channel or the other channel, but who could lead the Avengers moving forward? Who could lead the Avengers moving forward? And all of us said it was either Doctor Strange or Spider-Man. Marvel doesn't want him coming back. The Rock's golden touch has turned toxic. He doesn't have a golden touch, though. He's had 3 or 4 failed movies back to back to back. Jungle Cruise. It was Jungle Cruise, Adam, and there was one other film. Yeah, how did that work out for him for the XFL? I know it just had their first games this weekend. If Robert Downey Jr. came back, only he's getting very, very fat checked. Go back to Marvel. Oh yeah, he made $20 million by the end. Venom. What about Venom? I forgot the XFL exists. Yeah, so did everybody else. In a few years, The Rock might be the only person they can get. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I want to look. I want to look at the. Can I look at the box office? Search for titles. Can you look at? Let me see. Let's see. The Rock's last films box off. Rock's last films box. I don't know box off. Box office. The numbers. Okay. Let's see if we have it. As an actor, leading role, he has 27 movies. Live action star, domestic box office. He got 23 films. And he's only made $4 billion, which is not that impressive, to be honest with you. I'm looking if I can see. No. Oh, real quick, so you guys know, you're like, well, $4 billion. That seems pretty impressive. On the list of Samuel L. Jackson's made $8.5 billion. Robert Downey Jr.'s made $6 billion. Warwick Davis has made $5.7 billion. Okay. Samuel L. Jackson's made 8.5 with 112 movies. God damn. Tom Cruise has made 4.8. Scarlett Johansson's made 4.8. Chris Pratt's made 4.7. Dwayne Johnson's at 23 of 4.1. Got 40 movies. I mean, I guess he's got some box office take, but I know his couple of his last movies just were bombed. All right, here you go. There you go. So Hercules, gross to date $72 million. Okay, production budget $100 million. It lost money. Okay. So Hercules lost money. Walking Tall, okay, budget, okay, $46 million. Gross to date $46 million. So Walking Tall didn't make money. That's two failed projects there. Journey 2, budget $79 million. Total gross $103. Okay. Didn't make money. So that's 3 movies. Didn't make money. San Andreas, budget 110, gross to date 155. Didn't make money. Doom, the video game, budget $60 million, gross to date $28 million. That is a failed project. That's 5 movies that he didn't make money. Next one, Snitch. Okay. 42 million, or we don't even know what the budget is. They made 42 million. I can just assume it didn't make money. Okay. Revenge Action, whatever the hell this is, Faster. Okay. $24 million budget. Made $23 million back. Lost money. Okay. let's continue, shall we? Game plan. Okay. Budget. We don't know the budget, and it made 90 million. I can let you know that this movie also bombed at the box office. Right? Where's his next ones? Where's the next movies of his? Right? That's a lot of movies that he's been in that didn't make money. I want to know why. Oh, Handle the Tooth. You can't handle the tooth. Budget $60 million or $48 million. Only made $60 million. That's yet another movie he didn't make money. Well, that's crazy. And how come I can't see the rest of his films? Okay. We have yet to see one major movie that he actually made money in. Right? All of these films, and they all lost money for him. John says X-Men was big iconic Marvel part missing for me from MCU growing up as a kid in the 90s watching X-Men cartoon. Yeah, the X-Men I didn't see. I don't know what was it, New Class? Did that do very well? I didn't get to see the New Class at all. Didn't watch it. Isn't they selling up the Tom Holland? Isn't they selling up the Tom Holland Spider-Man versus Venom and Spider-Man No Way Home in the end credits with Eddie Brock left some Venom in the MCU? Yes, but they teased it, but I don't think he's going to be fighting him in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it'll be someone else, or it takes over him, right? I will suffer an X-Men movie no matter how bad. X-Men is my favorite. X-Men is my favorite, and I can't believe they haven't done anything with it. Kevin Feige's like keeping that in his back pocket. Like that's like the revive, right? What's that going to be? Phase 7? The Rock was in Fast and Furious 5. Where's that movie? They can't see it. I can't see it on that. I don't know where it is. I don't know why we can't see this whole thing. Can I put in his name and give me all the movies that he worked on, or it doesn't work that way on this site? No, it doesn't work on that way. Tooth Fairy, yeah. He's lost so much money on multiple things. Let's see, The Rock. No, that's The Rock. Literally the movie The Rock. Dwayne Johnson's highest grossing movies of all time. 8. Okay. Fast 5, 626 million. He wasn't the lead in that movie, right? Moana, 645 million. Fast and Furious Present Hobbs and Shaw, 760 million. Okay. That's a success. Fast and Furious 6, 788 million. Again, all-star cast type of thing. Now, Jumanji, that is a profitable, the next level, that made good money for him. That's a success. Okay. And Jumanji 2, right? Oh, sorry. Jumanji 1, 962 million. Wow, did it make that much? And Jumanji 2 made 801 million. The Fate of the Furious, 2017. I never saw that one. Okay. Made $1.2 billion. And Furious 7, $1.5 billion. So apparently When he's with other people, he makes a lot of money. But as a star role himself, all the films flop. That's crazy. What do you think it needs to be done to fix the MCU or superhero fatigue in general? I don't know, Barry. I was thinking about this. I honestly think that the only way you get done with all this fatigue is basically stop. Just stop. Take 5 years. I think they should do this with Star Wars as well. I think Star Wars, anything they're working on with Star Wars, they should just stop. 5 years. Make like offshoot shows. Like take your brand of superhero stuff and make animated shows again, right? Like DC is really good at making animated shows. DC can do animated shows, keep making animated shows, keep it on television, live stream services, but live action stuff needs to stop. Do not pass go. Just completely and utterly move on to something else for like 5 years, right? Okay. And get rid of all live action stuff. So phase 4, 5, and 6, just done. After that, just stop. Wait 5 years. 5 years is an eternity. People forget a lot of stuff that happened in 5 years. Okay. And then you can reboot or redo or continue on and make something, right? When you have this constant thread, which I do love the thread that they have, but they're not even doing the thread anymore. Your critique on movies helped me during my film appreciation class I took for college. My teacher said I made a great discussion on movies. Really? Are you pulling my chain? Take your projects, cast them, lock the people in on the set for 5 years, make a good product. What's going on, Chief? Spider-Man will probably wear the symbiote suit during Secret Wars, like in the comics. Now, Slayer, I think what you're doing there to yourself is you're hyping yourself up, right? You're hyping yourself up of something that they won't do. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I had this argument with a bunch of people always in the chat, right? Like, Sean's a big component of always saying, well, it was like this in the comics. It was like this in the comics. Even, who was here that used to talk to us? I can't remember his name now because he's had multiple names. But he would always bring up, well, in the comics, it was in the comics. In the comics, it's like, stop with the comics, right? They don't give two shits about the comics, right? They're like, well, yeah, he was like this in the comics. They don't care. They don't care. This is what's the best about Marvel, right? Being a fan of Marvel is about the speculation, the in your mind what you want to see but never happens. That's the best part of Marvel films, right? That's the best part. At the end of a movie, you're like, oh, did you see that? Like, I know what happens at the end of Ant-Man and the Quantumania, right? Everyone's like, oh, dude, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yeah, we can imagine. They ain't doing it. Bear says, I've been thinking the same thing. Create some event that destroys the universe or something. Take a break for years, write up a good story, and then come back with a bang, right? Just gotta stop. Gotta stop. It's just too much. There's too much investment. Think about this, right? My son's 8 years old. He's watched, I think, 3 Marvel films. I can't take him to go see Quantumania without connecting everything else. Well, who's Ant-Man? Well, you got to watch Ant-Man 1, and then Ant-Man 2, and then Ant-Man 3. Or you got to watch Loki. Or you got to... There's like this whole gigantic, plot point you have to follow. It's just too much. It's like reading the last book of Harry Potter, right? And then thinking that you know everything. 6 other books in front of you. Thousands of pages. I think when Spider-Man will get the symbiote and Fantastic Four will be a part of it somehow. See, just what Sean said there, I like, oh man, that'd be cool. Right? That'd be cool. Tell me made a great points on how whatever film we had to watch this week, but told I missed the meaning of the film. I told her, well, This is how I saw it myself. Everyone has different views. Nice. Right. Wait a minute. Your teacher said you missed the point of the film? That's like looking at a painting and telling you, like, well, no, it's all subjective. It's all subjective. That's what makes a good movie. Lower quality, go back to quantity, or go lower quantity, go back to quality, hire more visual effects and stop overworking them. Hire actual writers. They never pulled out the cosmic from the movie. The movies are very different from the comics. I was serious. I got 90 in the class, even though I failed to talk about the main meaning of the films. Well, nice. See that? You watch my stuff of me talking about movies, you'll get a B. I'm not hyping myself up. That's why I said I probably, instead of something like they definitely add the suit. Oh, no, I get you, Slater. What I'm saying is that's the best part. Like, if you go back and watch when I talked to Krebsy or anybody else that was on our show when we talked about the review of the shows that I did, okay? Like, that was the best part. When me and Wolvie used to talk about like the show and what we thought and the speculations and what's going to happen, that was the best part. Like, seriously, that is the best part about being a Marvel fan. Speculating on what's going to happen in the next film or who's it going to be, what's going to happen, and then none of it happens because we actually write and come up with better stuff than the actual writers themselves. I just say King's variants aren't very comic-like. Right. I saw a picture of it. Like, I don't even care if I get spoiled anymore with Marvel. Oh, sure. Everything's possible. Is it probable? No. Then let's get into the other conversation. Okay, let's get into the other conversation of what's happening in the MCU or films industry in general, right? They have this, which is it's not made up anymore, right? It's not made up anymore. There was people from higher ups inside the creative world of Disney putting an agenda into everything. Okay, this is me not hating on anyone that is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. This is me not hating on you. This is factual of the higher ups are forcing stuff into series, top to bottom, animation to live action, everywhere within the Disney stuff. They don't care about that stuff, but they put it in to drive an agenda. They'll put a character in just because they change things. I posted something today made by Robot Head. You guys should go check it out. It talks about how Wikipedia, for the Star Wars wiki page type thing, is going back and changing the sexuality of different characters, right? Saying that Luke Skywalker is gay and Obi-Wan's gay and Tarkov is gay, and they're all part of some sort of organization, part of the LGBTQ, right? The Rainbow Army type of stuff, right? And that is what they're doing, right? And when looking at certain things, like if you watch Star Wars, in what way, shape, or form is Luke Skywalker gay? Right? In what world that you saw on film? Hell, even in the books, right? He marries Mara Jade, has children with Mara Jade. And nowhere in the books or the films is Luke Skywalker dating a dude. He's just not. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but he's not. And these people are making like these fan fiction up about these characters now. And that goes back to Marvel. Certain characters that have been around for 80 years, they're changing things just to make something different and then tell you, because of their agenda, that you have a problem because you're misogynistic, sexist, racist, right? And it's absolute ridiculous. Right? The think about this. Imagine making something, Okay, I'm not saying they shouldn't make it, but what I'm saying is a business is looking to make money, right? Looking to make money. Well, the LGBTQ portion of the community in the world is like 8%, might be 10%. So imagine going for the 10% crowd and not the 90% crowd. Imagine going to a place where your base for Star Wars might have been men, majority men, but you had 90% of the population of people spending money, hence why it made so much money over the years, from shirts and toys and memorabilia and all this stuff. And then you crap on that 90% so you can get the 8%, to get the 10%. Kind of weird to me, right? I don't know why you would do that. Go woke, go broke. People don't want to be talked down to in fantasy movies. We watch them to escape reality, not live in it. There's ways to do what they want to do without ruining it for the people that had existed, right? Like if you added a brand new character that was LGBTQ or transgender or gay or bisexual or pansexual, whatever you want, that's fine. But don't take the characters that have been around for 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 years and then all of a sudden change it just because. And then when someone pushes back, say, well, you're sexist, racist, misogynistic. You know what I mean? It makes no sense to me, right? Because if you do it the opposite way, and I'll take the example here, okay? Not that it matters that they do gender or race swap, right? Because like Nick Cage, right? Samuel L. Jackson, right? Not Nick Cage. Yeah. What? Right? Is Nick Cage? No, I'm thinking Luke Cage. Jesus Christ. My brain, here's one of those COVID moments, guys. Okay, my brain is stopped right now, and I can't even think. Okay? But you know who I'm talking about. Samuel L. Jackson, okay? I can't think of it. It's at the tip of my tongue. Nick Fury. Thank you, Krebsy. Nick Fury. They changed and race swapped him, right? Because in the comics, he was a white guy. But there was also a black guy of it. And it wasn't a big deal because they didn't make it a big deal. They weren't like, hey, look, here's this black guy. Nobody cared, right? Nobody cared. But when you take other characters, like J.J. Abrams wanted to switch Superman, right? And use Clark Kent, okay? But race swap him. Even though there was a black Superman with steel, okay? They wanted to change him and use him as, it's like, why? Why would you change him and not just make a different story? If you make a new character, then make the character and however you want to make that character. But when you take an existing character and change that character for reasons that you can't name why, just because, and then if someone says something, be like, get over it. Like, it's just ridiculous to me. My brain could not think of Nick Fury. I don't know why. There's a line pushing it too far. People down people's throats, and people get sick of it. I think now there's an overpush, though, right? I think a lot of people go into certain things now where even if there's not a message or something being said, and there's just a woman in charge, like, oh, look at this. There's a woman in charge, and I think there's a full other swing, full far too left, far too right type of thing, right? It's okay to have certain characters and certain things, right? But now everyone, because it was shoved down your throat for so long, John, now everyone's like, oh, here we go again, type of thing, right? Like, why did Taskmaster have to be a girl? Does anybody know? I don't even think they know. Okay. It's when you use it as marketing push. Well, that's another reason, right? And this is why I say they don't care about those people, about those groups, about those organizations, right? Because they'll use it for the movies in the States to make money off of them. And then when they go overseas, they'll take that portion out, right? It's a double standard. Disney only listens to the numbers and how many views in everyone's shows, rather than don't listen to the numbers and views and take out the equation and then make a pretty good show. Yeah, it's just weird to me that they feel there's a different agenda. And I wonder I wonder if they're doing it on purpose because they know that the amount of people that will push back, they might lose some money, but in the bigger picture, they'll condition the people and they'll make more money in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll take the hit for a couple of years, knowing at the end of this they'll come out of it and now it'll be just the norm type of thing. Representation is totally fine if it makes sense for the story and good for the character, but it's not fine when the character only exists in the movie to be divert. Exactly, Barrier. Exactly. Right? If you take somebody, and here's a funny one, like Falcon, right? Obviously in the comics, Falcon becomes Captain America, so does Bucky becomes Captain America and whatnot. And they want to make a strong character, but Falcon is a black character, and he's a strong character. He's actually a good character, okay? But then they want to change him over to Captain America, and this is when people online say, Steve Rogers is Captain America, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, even though Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. That's why they call him Miles Morales, okay? Peter Parker is Spider-Man. That's what it is, right? Bruce Wayne is Batman. Right? There's certain characters that are that persona no matter what you do. You could have other Batman, but Bruce Wayne is Batman. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Right? Type of stuff. Right? They did a pretty good job with Miles Morales making a black Spider-Man, okay? For the new realm and the new population, the new fans and whatnot. His story's a little, copy pasta for the most part, but it's a pretty good story. I like it. But that's a good point. That's a good version of what they could do. Raises glasses. Well, technically, Taskmaster would be a computer chip in her head. The body without the chip is a potato. Yeah, but why did they make Taskmaster a woman? Krebsy? Like, why? You know what I mean? Going back to what Slater said, yeah, they did that in Loki, right? Where all of a sudden they made him bi. And here's the best part. It was such a small little line. No one really batted an eye. But then there was article after article after article saying that, Loki turns himself into a goat. Right? So, you know what I mean? Like, you're just making a token character at this point. It's borderline offensive to the groups that are trying to represent, but some people just eat it up. Oh, of course. Right? And that's just the thing. A lot of people want to see themselves. Like, when I was a kid, okay, I don't believe that you have to see yourself 100% to see yourself as that person, right? My little nephew, who reverse, right, doesn't know there was a Peter Parker Spider-Man. The first Spider-Man he ever saw was Miles Morales. Okay? Well, my nephew's a little white boy, and he likes a black superhero. Is he going to be like, all of a sudden, well, he didn't see himself, so he can't like Spider-Man Miles Morales? Do you know what I mean? Like, no. He likes the character because he likes superheroes. He little kids don't look at the color. They just look at the character. Okay? I actually asked him, I said, who's your favorite character? He's like, Black Spider-Man. But he wasn't talking about the color of the skin. He was talking about the color of the suit, which is black. Okay? He's like, Black Spider-Man. And I'm like, oh. I was like, you like Venom? He's like, no. He's like, I like Miles Morales. I was like, oh. And he's like, right? That's just it. Like, they don't look at the stuff. It's these articles that are written. It's the thing that's put out there and the articles that are written. So, for instance, when episode 7 came out and there was that lesbian kiss scene, there's articles written about it. Okay? Instead of just letting it happen, letting it be, when Lightyear came out and Lightyear had the kiss scene in there, they had articles about it. It's the first lesbian kiss scene. There's a more bisexual kiss scene. There's a gay kiss scene. When Finn and Poe were like buddy buddy. They're like, are they a thing? Like, does it matter? This is not Game of Thrones. We're not watching it for who gets who, right? Who has sex with who, right? If you're a person that looks at it, for instance, in the Robot Head video today, he talks about in the 80s how Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger were so ripped but he's like, don't you think there were people that looked at them as action heroes, men and women alike, and were like, man, that's a good looking guy, right? It doesn't matter if the character in the film was sleeping with men or women. You watching the film were just saying, oh my God, that's a sexy guy, right? Turns me on or whatever. If you go that way, type of thing. It shouldn't matter unless it's part of the story. But it doesn't matter, right? Exactly, Sarge. Rule 34. Pride made it Prib made it Cribsy. What did Cribsy say? This is one reason why people are reading MAGA a lot over the years. They aren't multiple universes or agendas being pushed. It just continues unified story. Right. You're just being entertained. You're not being preached to. You're not being preached to and pushed down your throat. You're just watching it. You're being entertained. Right. A lot of people just watch the shows and stuff and look at it and go, well, I'm being entertained. And then all of a sudden, now they read an article and they're like, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't even notice that type of thing. Right. Like, think about that. Eternals, when it came out, was saving lives, and there was a gay kiss scene. Right? Lightyear was saving lives, and there was a gay kiss scene. But why? Why are you advertising it? Just let it happen. Right? It's because they make it a big deal is the reason people push back on it. One of my favorite characters growing up was Hulk, who sees themselves as a giant green raging monster. Same, Reese. I loved Hulk growing up. Did I think I was a green monster? Do you know what I mean? I don't have to see myself in somebody. Now, I'm not saying everyone doesn't have to see themselves, but at the same time, like, I don't need to see a white guy on screen to be like, that's a cool character. I like that character. Right? Imagine if it works the opposite way. Right? I tried to make this earlier when I was talking about Nick Fury, but I got. And this is the number one example that everyone always gives. Black Panther is one of the most popular black superheroes, right? Agreed? If all of a sudden they change Black Panther to a white lesbian woman, would that be okay? Obviously Black Panther has nothing to do with black of the person, but it's Black Panther because of the animal. But wouldn't it be weird if they changed Black Panther to a white lesbian? Yeah, do you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like, why? Why would you have to do that? No, people would be upset about it. I'm not hating on females being superheroes. They made Taskmaster as a female because every woman who feels like a man feels like one day. I guess, sure. Sure. Right, John? It's funny, right? Like, I don't know. I just look at it and I want to be entertained, but when it one after another, might as well make it a totally separate character, right? Right, but that's the whole point, right? And that is the biggest thing that people that love, like, just imagine, and they wait until the people that created these characters die off. Like when Stan Lee died, it was like Pandora's box got opened up, and they're like, yeah, we could change anything we want now. Who cares? But the identity of the characters, right? And just remember, regardless if the character is black, white, Chinese, Hispanic, girl, female, lesbian, they were all made by white dudes. Right? They were all made by white dudes. Geeky ass white dudes. We used to identify with characters on a deeper level than skin color and who they were banging. Exactly, Reese. Are there not enough female heroes? I believe the number is in the hundreds. I think it's actually more than that. Popular characters, that's a different story. But female characters in the MCU, I think is like... There's like 1,100 or something like that, Sarge, overall. It's ridiculous. Customer says to business, here's my money. Now dance to step on me while I was somewhere else for that. Hot tub streams, that's right, hot tub streams. Let me see. Female... Sorry, okay. So there's 195 plus Marvel female characters. Truly heroic comic book writers, artists have also gotten a bad rap for portrayal for women. Take a quick shuffle through any comic book, you'll understand why, right? And that's another thing. People are upset because they make the girls look super hot. Safe space and Snowflake. That's right. I'm trying to look up to see how many characters there are. It looks like 195. Obviously, we have more popular ones than others, but... Someone did an actual study analyzing the gender representation of 34,476 comics. Okay. Let's see what this is. The difference in male and female powers. Strength, more males. Agility, more females. Stamina, males. Berserker, strength, super eating, siphon abilities, and longevity. They just make females agility. That's it. Though Wonder Woman has a lasso and Stargirl has cosmic staff, generally the male characters that like their stuff think Thor and his hammer or Iron Man and his suit, right? So guys like more gadgets. That makes sense. Supernatural physical abilities. Invulnerability, males have more. Flight, females have more. Feral, males. Adaptive, males. Pheromone control, women. Matter absorption, males. Sonic scream, female. Enhanced mutations, male. Duplication, male. Flame breath, male. Heat vision, male. Genetic manipulation, that should be female, but it's male. Enhanced skills. Leadership, males, 17%. Intellect is females. Unarmed combat is females. Tracking. Why, you know why unarmed is cool with females? Because it's badass. It's sexy. It's hot. Okay? That's why. Swordmanship, they have more skill. Mental powers, all female. Mind your powers. There's a clear trend here. Female characters are more often given non-physical, thought-inducing abilities. Shape-shifting, 3% to 2%. It's interesting. That's an interesting little data here. Interesting little data. It still kills me that Marvel made a villain whose greatest weakness is the chip shortage. Creature says, I walk away for a couple of minutes and I come back and look at I found you doing. we're looking at the stats of female to males. Most badass cutscene from the Old Republic MMO when she fights Darth Magus and stops the lightsaber with her hand and then force pushing it back. I played that game for years, more than Destiny even. Wow. Jennifer Lawrence once said the first woman in the lead of an action movie. That's right. Jennifer Lawrence has done everything before anybody else, Jesse. I don't know, man. I'll go back and say it again. You know, Barry asked the question. I think they just need to stop making films, stop making shows. I'm really starting to slowly get back into Star Wars. Like Boba Fett and Obi-Wan really hurt me. So much so I didn't want to watch Andor. And now Mando season 3 is starting back up, and Ahsoka's coming out later in the year. And I don't know, man. I started watching Bad Batch season 2 a little bit. I watched like 3 episodes. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with it. To me, all roads lead to 7. And to me, that's just garbage. I feel like Star Wars needs to stop. I feel like even though season 4 is already written, I read an article earlier, Jon Favreau already has season 4. They start filming it later this year. I just feel like Marvel, DC, Star Wars, obviously they won't do it because they paid so much money for these things that they need them to make money for them. But they just need to stop. They need to stop for a good 5 years and then kind of reset. And maybe they don't even need to reset. Just stop. Give us a reset, right? Let us rest and then make your movies again. Yeah, I don't have time for MMOs. I don't. I played DC Universe Online for a couple days or a couple weeks and I stopped. Sum it all up. F Disney, Marvel, F DC, MAGA anime for life. But what if all roads lead to retcon, Mike? I don't know, Creature. Here's what I feel. I feel like we want 789 not to exist, but it's not going back to normal. So it's one of those occasions that you have to be careful what you wish for, right? Right now, 789 is bad. But what about if they retcon and do the veil and they reset stuff? Now, there are rumors about Ahsoka showing up in parts of history where Obi-Wan was. So instead of Obi-Wan fighting Anakin on Mustafar, it'll be Ahsoka fighting Anakin on Mustafar, right? Like certain things, if they do this, I think all roads lead to a reboot. All right, John, have a good one. You know what I mean? Like 789, if they don't do the retcon in Ahsoka and they just move forward, all roads lead to 7. But if they do the retcon, then I think all roads lead to a reboot of Star Wars. I think I just saw an article. Where was it? I forget where I just saw it. This is from Giant Freaking Robot. Now, this is 2 weeks ago. It says Star Wars being completely rebooted using Grogu and Daisy Ridley. Now, I don't know how this goes. Okay. It says Lucasfilm might be planning on using a new movie starring Daisy Ridley and Grogu to rehabilitate the suffering Star Wars franchise. Cosmic Book News reports that new rumor from noted Disney leaker WD Pro could mean reboot on current Star Wars continuity. WD Pro claims that Disney is planning on a Jedi team-up between Rey and Baby Yoda that actually retcons and polarizing Star Wars sequel trilogy. Now, one of the first people to break the Splash Mountain overhaul, let's see. Self-proclaimed Rey Skywalker, deal with it. The former pupil and fellow disciple of Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, Grogu, along with the favorites of Chewbacca, R2-D2, and unnamed mystery character, the Star Wars equivalent of Scooby-Doo gang, would presumably run into some galaxy-breaking trouble that would flip and reset switch of Star Wars universe as we know it. Why does Star Wars franchise need to be fixed? Well, it depends on who you ask. Okay, one of Disney's first acts, new stewards of Star Wars property, was to wipe out the EU and expand the universe and supplement Star Wars material. Disney declared everything except the movies as part of the animated Clone Wars series to be non-canon. Everything non-penned up by Disney would now fall under the Legend banner. Let me see. According to the league, Disney is making a last-ditch effort to save the failing sci-fi franchise by uniting sequel trilogy fans, let's be honest, Last Jedi fans, as Mandalorian fans through Daisy Ridley and Grogu buddy cop formula. WDW Pro reports that Disney is looking to make Daisy Ridley a linchpin of Star Wars universe going forward, saying that she is the one that wants to pin this on and try to revive it. And this is the new movie's bomb. What then? Right? That's one of the things I saw. There's another one that says they're literally trying to reboot the whole thing. It's gotten so bad I can live with a reboot. I don't know, man. There was another one. I could have sworn I just saw it like today. I saw it today or yesterday. Did you guys see what I put into our Discord today? From, where is it? This is Game Talk. I don't know if you guys saw this, right? So this has nothing to do with entertainment, but I kind of want to bring it up because, you know, this is the channel to do it on type of thing. But there was an article, okay? There was an article written today around noon, and it's called Hogwarts Legacy would be a perfect blueprint for new Marvel game, okay? And in this article, okay, they talk about how Hogwarts Legacy, how the game is, okay, is the perfect blueprint to how to transition a big movie franchise into a video game, and Marvel would do well to take notice. Okay. Marvel video games have a variety of degrees of success over the years and the lofty heights of the PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man. Marvel's Avengers failing to meet the fans' expectation for a variety of reasons. Recently, though, the quality of these seems to be far from consistent. Right? Let me fast forward here. The next few years should be several more Marvel video games enter the fray of Spider-Man 2, set the release of 2023, and the promise to build up the established predecessor, as well as the spin-off of Miles Morales, a Wolverine game, also development. And while they also revealed about that yet, now gamers should hopefully learn more of the year's development. Okay, they'll also talk about how Captain America and Black Panther, the single-player Iron Man game, comes out. Okay, now at its core, it says the Hogwarts Legacy keeps the premise pretty simple. Avalanche Studios was created a huge open world to explore, including a glorious, impressive Hogwarts itself, which has been painstakingly built from the ground up and filled with various Easter eggs. Okay, now it says here, where's the part? Now, while the PlayStation Wolverine game, okay, the Hogwarts Legacy X-Men game in particular would really excel using this formula, stepping into the shoes of a young mutant enrolling into Professor X Xavier's school for gifted youngsters, as they learn more about the powers and would give players the opportunity to really feel it's like becoming the X-Men, and maybe even fight alongside more established heroes such as Storm or Cyclops. Players could also come and go in the mutant school as they wish, fighting crimes across an open world, huge thing, and power grows exponentially. Now, the beauty of this formula is it wouldn't just work for Marvel. It's easy to imagine that Star Wars game follows Hogwarts Legacy's formula as well, where the player becomes a young Jedi training in the next Jedi Temple and can become either a Jedi or Sith, and the freedom to explore Star Wars galaxy and customize protagonists sounds like a dream come true for fans. Okay? Now I want you to go to this spot, which I talked about yesterday. Okay? I'm going to fast forward about 21 minutes. Spider-Man's just a huge IP. Them taking this reins and doing the open world like they did with the Hogwarts, and I want you to listen to this. Replicated it across the board into like the X-Men. This guy's a smart guy. Transformers world, a Star Wars world, a DC world type of stuff like this. That would be fantastic. I do believe that the Wolverine game that's coming out, I do believe that the Captain America / Black Panther game coming out that they're working on, these things are going to be massive hits and sellers because of the single player aspect of it, you know? You see what I'm saying? Like, I think them making that type of stuff would just be, you know, it'd be asinine if they didn't capitalize on it. Like, they should look at this and go as the blueprint. Like, again, God of War is a fantastic game, but it's not an IP that was in a movies or books. It's mythology that they turned into this wonderful game. This is from books and from films, and they've turned into this open world adventure. And if they can capture this again with the Star Wars IP or another Marvel game, like imagine this, right? Let me take you on a little trip here. Imagine the amount of detail and world building that was this, but this was Marvel's Avengers game that came out. Not the Marvel's Avengers game that we got, but it was the Marvel's Avengers game that was a gigantic open world, just as is. And think of the Hogwarts castle as the helicarrier, where you go back to that location. I said helicarrier. They said Professor X's mansion. Not little missions here and there. Just open world and go into it. That's a much better. Like I want that game right now, right? I want that game right now. Right, Travis, like, shut up and take my money. Exactly right, right? Imagine a game like this, but in Star Wars. It takes place on Coruscant, just Coruscant, right? And all of a sudden, there's the Jedi Temple, which is Hogwarts Legacy, and all of a sudden, you're a young Jedi going through, and you have to go out in the world, and it's an open world game. Like, take my money, right? That's the games that I think people want. You look at stuff like this, and you're like, man, take this game and make it into whatever. That's the blueprint. And if people are not interested in Hogwarts Legacy, but you are a Marvel fan and they make a game like this, then you would be interested in that Marvel game. If you're not interested in Marvel or Harry Potter, and all of a sudden they did a Star Wars one, you would be interested in that same game. Same exact game, just skin it differently, right? And put it the exact same technology, same stuff, right? Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Warhammer, whatever that is, you make the same type of game, but with your favorite IP, and that's a smash hit. Like I'm like psychic, right? I'm like psychic. I literally say this stuff, and it's funny to me because Game Rant, time after time after time, has articles written of stuff that I've talked about sometimes weeks before, if not days after. You know what I mean? Like, I say something and weeks later they come out with that story, or days later they come out with that story, or even hours they come out with that story. I swear to God, someone watches or something. Krebsy says, shocker, using a good game as a blueprint for another game / franchise. Disney's insert franchise. I love how Krebsy always says stuff like this. Just give me my cookie and let's move on. Right? The reason I bring this up, Krebsy, is because it happens all the time. I say something, and then there's an article, or everybody else catches up to it, right? I'm completely an unknown person on the internet, but yet I'm ahead of the curve on pretty much everything when I say something. Dark Souls becomes popular, respawns like Fallout Order. Anyone? I literally said though that before Hogwarts even came out, I said this is the thing, right? This is the thing. I was like, this is the blueprint. And I remember people be like, well, why would they make this? Because it would make a good game, right? Take Hogwarts Legacy, make it into whatever, the school, the temple, whatever, right? I think Jesse even said the same thing as far as the temple. He's like, oh, you make a Star Wars Jedi temple or the Luke's Academy? You can give me cookies all day long. Perhaps, Jesse. It seems really weird, though, because it's happened multiple times. Krebsy's literally just jealous, though, because I say my stuff and it comes true. I don't think the format would work for Marvel unless you're playing as a... What is that? Vicious hero? What is that word? I'm sorry. Is that established? Is that what that's supposed to be? An established hero? I think if it's an established hero, you could just be like a young Cyclops or a young Storm or a young whatever, right? You don't have to be a brand new hero. I think overall, like I said, the blueprint is there. Like Hogwarts Legacy, they need to make that game and then whatever other game. Like Creature brought up, I hope Massive makes a good game. I mean, if Massive just takes Division and turns it into a bounty hunter game, I don't know if you're going to be Jedi or whatnot, right? We don't know where it's going to be established. Be interesting. Kind of like how the Arkham games became an open format for open world superhero games. Yeah, but did it become an open... I mean, there was open world superhero games before that. It's just Batman Arkham was the pinnacle. Like, what year did... Let me see. Batman Arkham. $2009. Okay, let's see. Didn't the open world Hulk game come out in before 2009? I know there's a Hulk game that came out in 2003. What was the incredible? What was the Hulk game that came out was open world, right? Then you had Spider-Man games come out way before that. Like, see, you type in Spider-Man game, and all of a sudden, just the one in 2018 comes out. But I was playing Spider-Man games that were open world and whatnot way before Batman Arkham came out. It's just that Batman Arkham basically set the bar, and then Spider-Man that came out in 2018 copied that bar, and then I think raised the bar even a little bit more. Right? The difference between what Hogwarts is doing, or what Hogwarts did, I should say, compared to other ones, and I said this a couple weeks ago when we started playing, is that Hogwarts took something that was already established in books and films and then made it into a game, which is really hard to do when you have everyone drooling over everything. You know, like the reason people love the Star Wars games is because they love Star Wars. So if you can put them on the Death Star, like, oh man, look at that Death Star. Like Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, even back in the day, and the new ones that came out with EA in 15 and 17, they were so detailed. So when you were in Tatooine, you would look around and go, that's really cool. They copied something and established something that you saw in the movies, and it's so realistic looking when you get to run around in that world, right? It's different than, you know, God of War for Forbidden West, because those are just made up worlds regardless. There's nothing to see there, right? So now obviously The Last of Us, okay, if The Last of Us show came out before the game and then you played the game, you would be like, oh man, the attention to detail they did was amazing. Obviously the show came after the game, so and they're not part of that lore. Yesterday's stream, I said that you are the younglings going to Luke's Jedi Academy. You train in Luke, and Luke picked the younglings to go into the mission with Luke, and the missions are the younglings. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I remember you saying it, Jesse. I was like, I think you said something along the lines of, right, like that it would be a great thing. You just take Hogwarts and insert there. Like in the article, they talk about the mansion. I talk about the helicarrier. Okay. In there, they talk about the temples. Like I said, Hogwarts is the temple and whatnot. Right? That would be interesting if they did that. I would be okay with that. I've been saying that for freaking years with Destiny. Saying you make a Marvel game like Destiny, you make a Transformers game like Destiny, you make a Star Wars game like Destiny. That game would sell better than Destiny. I've been I didn't want to stream on the regular channel today. I know it's kind of weird, but I couldn't talk about this stuff over on my gaming channel because the algorithm. And I was saying this in the very beginning of the stream that I felt a little lost because some mornings I don't know what to talk about. And I felt like I was like pushing myself to do something that I really didn't want to do. I don't feel like I'm giving the best content. After the 2 weeks of gameplay with Hogwarts Legacy in the mornings and the evenings, I think I kind of tanked my channel a little bit. I know I'm over exaggerating a little bit, but the topics and stuff that I've been putting out or the videos that I uploaded have been getting absolutely no engagement with, besides the core audience that you guys are. So I think I kind of did something without doing something, right? I was like, oh, I'll do gameplay, and then I doing talk shows, and the talk shows don't seem like they're as good as the not getting as enough traction as they were a couple weeks ago before before Hogwarts Legacy. Like I look at my videos. Let me switch my accounts real fast. So my stuff before, right? Because before Hogwarts, we were playing Hi-Fi Rush. Okay. So, for instance, the algorithm knows that when I talked about the Marvel's Avengers Dead game, I got like 771 views. I got the Starfield Delay or Not. We got 1,000, 1,100 views, and these are great views. Then I started playing gameplay at night with Hi-Fi Rush, and we got really nobody cared about that on a spectrum. Then I came out with the Hogwarts Legacy accessibility features, and that went on to make about 1,400, and that's good. And then I made a DC is getting DLC with James Gunn, you know, and that got 3,300 views, and that's fantastic as well. But then I played Hi-Fi Rush again, and Hi-Fi Rush got like single digits. Okay. Then I did the character creator video for Hogwarts, leading up to Hogwarts Legacy, 44 views. The Hogwarts opening, 92 views. The clock tower puzzle thing only got 114 views. And then my new game plus got 144 views so far, which is just absolute like trash. And that's the uploads, right? That's the uploads. The live stuff, obviously Hogwarts first day, we got 1,100 views, and then it went half, and then half, and then half loss. It's almost like what Marvel's movies are doing at the box office. And then after that, we got the 93 hours, my thoughts, only got 176 views, which is, and then no DLC in sight, got 167 views. And then the thing today, Microsoft signs deal, 216 views. Very different type of interaction and whatnot. So I'm not sure, and there's a struggle going on with myself with the content that I'm creating as of right now. Any game with popular quality will always be a blueprint for other games. WoW spawned multiple MMOs, COD spawned shooters, etc. Star Wars really has a massive amount of untapped potential. So many storylines people would love to see in games. Oh, sure. You did what Lono did with Forbidden West and Ragnarok. You played the game too much. Sure. It would be a cool idea if there was an X-Men game like Hogwarts Legacy where you make a new character, level them up in progress as a mutant, and choose between the X-Men and the Brotherhood. That would be cool, Slayer. Sort of like a morale system type of thing. You'd be interested in the CRT for which ones? The uploaded versions, Creature, or the live versions? Today was 3.5. Stream last night was 3.7. Yesterday's DLC and no DLC in sight got 2.7. $2.5 for the podcast on Thursday nights. And then the 93 hours thoughts one got 3.7. No, I know, Creature. I know. For the videos, the last couple videos, I got well, actually the new game plus one is a 9.1 click through, which is really good. And then the other one's a 2.2, 2.4, and 2.7. Those are the last four videos for each of the things. But when I want to talk about stuff on YouTube, it's really hard, right? So, like in the morning shows, like someone will come in and be like, "Hey, did you see this article?" Blah blah blah, and I'm like, I can't talk about that because we're trying to stay on focus, right? We're trying to stay focused for the first 15, 20 minutes and get a topic. And sometimes, like this morning's topic, which, like I fly by the seat of my pants, man. I swear to God. So I'm looking through stories that are submitted by Krebsy and everybody else, right? And I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. And then I was like, all right, Microsoft signed a deal with Nintendo. I was like, I could put something together real fast. And then we talked about it for 3 hours, and that was fine. But at the last second, just doing it, no prep work, no script work, no nothing, no bullet points. I just didn't feel good about it. Even though we had consistent talking the entire time, I just didn't feel good about it. It's like the live channel. When I do live talks like this, we get the hardcore people. We get the people that are 13, 14, 20 people that come in, hang out and whatnot. And I love it. But for 2 hours, right? 2 hours of my time doing the stuff. And then after I go off air, not on this channel, but on the other channel, like it doesn't grow at all. It's like the live or nothing. Very few afterwards. And the uploads is much better. I think we're going to hear something late April, early May. I think so, Jesse. I have no evidence of that in any way, shape, or form. It's more of a gut feeling type of thing. We like the gut feeling I had the other day. I talked about Suicide Squad, right? And I said, I don't know. We haven't heard anything. I said, we're almost at the end of February. I said, unless they do something at the end of this week, which they might, and then all of a sudden, here we are, Thursday, there's going to be a extended version of Suicide Squads at the State of Play for PlayStation, right? So it's literally a gut feeling that I get that we'll hear something like in April or May. We'll definitely see something at E3 of Transformers, but don't know if that means it's coming out. Beta, early access, something. Wasn't there an unannounced DLC confirmed for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League today? Was there? I didn't see that, Slater. All I know is there's a confirmed extended thing for State of Play. I didn't hear about the DLC for Suicide Squad. We do know it's a state of a live service game. There's so much that we need to find out. So it comes out on Thursday at like 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not going to be live to watch it, but we'll definitely talk about it on GXG that night. So here's another problem I have with our YouTube channel, right? I'm trying to figure out what to do with the other channel, like the original 30 and Still Gaming channel, right? Because this channel is not monetized, okay? Not monetized. And it's an entertainment channel. So I was thinking of taking this channel, wiping the other channel completely clean. Like everything that's on that channel, just basically get rid of it except for the GXG episodes, okay? And then basically turn Nerding with 30 into 30 and Still Gaming, right? So 30 and Still Gaming's main channel will be Nerding with 30, and then 30 NSG. And then this channel would just go to the wayside because this is not monetized, right? Problem with that is the other channel's algorithm is completely and utterly screwed. So it's either work my ass off with this channel, get this to 1,000 people to get monetized for this channel, or move this stuff over to the other channel. I don't know what to do as far as that. Basically got to delete everything off the other channel, which is fine. I don't care. But there's times that and let me get what you guys think, right? So if I have nothing to talk about in gaming space, right, in the gaming space, but there's stuff that comes out for the entertainment space, would you be okay if I went live in the mornings instead of doing the daily grind? I did something on this channel, right, instead of doing it on the daily grind. Now my problem with that is I still need to do uploads or something to the main channel because that's the income, right? That's the income. So if I don't go live in the mornings, there'll be an upload for the morning for that channel, and then I would go live on this type of channel. Well, I bring it up here, Creature. Right? I bring it up here because the people that are watching watch my stuff, right? So kind of want to get their viewpoints on it. At the end of the day, I'm making content for the people watching my stuff. Yeah, I texted Sarge. I texted Sarge. I swear to you. Here. Let's see, right here. Friday, 3:44 p.m. Right? Can't see it, but it's there. It's that green box there. You can't see, but it says, "I need a picture from you. Creature needs a picture from you and me." Want some honesty? There are viewers that don't know what they want. You have to show them what they want. I haven't taken a picture of myself. It takes 3 seconds. You know what? We could do it on, you know what? I got you, creature. I got you. I could take a screenshot before we start the show. And I can get a screenshot of Sarge, and he'll be on a green screen. And if you want, I could put myself on a green screen, and we can take a screenshot of the picture on Thursday night. You need a picture? Are you gonna do what you did to Lono and Madam Crumpet with the cartoon for what's it called? For the Hogwarts playthrough that he was doing on the thumbnail? Is that what you need our picture for? Yeah, but very different. I got you. I got you. So, slowly wrapping it up here, what do you guys think as far as, one, what do you think the MCU or DC has to do to kind of like end this oversaturation of the industry of superheroes, right? You know what I mean? Like, what do we have to do to kind of get out of this rut? Because I think there's just too much, right? And two, what do you guys think I should do with my content as far as, do I do every morning, Thursday, Monday through Thursday on, or do I switch channels based on what the news is? The hard part is reaching out to you guys. I think a lot of people came over tonight because of me putting a message on our board on the main channel. Gonna make you guys Pirates and Goonies and Division characters. I don't know about Division characters. I think we're done with Division for right now for a couple. Like, I like doing these talks. I like doing these type of things, but I don't know. The uploads seem like they do a lot better. One well-written, feel-good hero movie like The Rocketeer. I watched The Rocketeer a couple of months ago, Brain. I love that movie, but it's really a bad movie. It's really a bad movie. Be more passionate about their storytelling and hire writers who actually give a damn. Also, have their actors research the characters they play. Oh, no, they won't do that. Don't put woke stuff off the movies. There, easy. Would it be oversaturated? Even half of the shows were good? See, I don't even think if the shows were good, Reese, I think it would still feel oversaturated, wouldn't it? Like, pizza's good, right? But if you eat pizza every day, you're gonna get tired of pizza. No, I agree, Krebsy. I agree. The conversation is the bread and butter, but at the same time, I gotta play games to have conversations, right? So I have to have some gameplay or whatnot. I just don't know. The gameplay at night, for most of the time, is just gameplay is not good. I'm not talking about my play style. I'm just talking about people coming to watch. Very, very low base. type of stuff. And you're never going to make everyone happy because some people really like gameplay. Doesn't matter what I'm playing, they like the gameplay. And then other people don't care if I do gameplay at all. I like the conversation. The conversation's good because the interactive back and forth. I want people to interact. I want people to have conversation. I like that's what I really like. Sunday Night Drive reboots. I'll be honest, Brain. I was thinking about doing stuff on the weekends, but every time I want to do something on the weekends, I look at it and I'm like, I'm not motivated. I'm not motivated. It's like there's stream time, there's family time, and then there's like my time. And the weekends are for my family, and the weekend evenings, it's kind of like just for me, Yeah, I want to talk to your ass. I can watch an idiot play games. No, I know, creature, but it's like I need to play games to talk about it, right? Like, where would I have put 93 hours of time if I played Hogwarts Legacy off stream? Do you know what I mean? Where would I put that? No, I know, Brain. I agree. I like playing games like that where we can just bullshit and stuff, Where's the video I had? Let's see. Let me see. We played. Yeah, here's a perfect example, right? The viewership I got for Power Wash Simulator, okay, was double or triple the amount of I played for Hi-Fi Rush, a brand new game, okay, and I had more people watch my Power Wash Simulator DLC than watched Hi-Fi Rush. So ridiculous, right? And I go back to look at other ones. Every time I do a gameplay, it's around 150, 170 people that watch me play video games. Like right there every single time. I think it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, Jesse. I'll be honest. It feels exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy. It doesn't look good, though. It doesn't look good. Like when we played High on Life, first stream, 400 people, and then it went down to the normal 180, 170 type of thing. Best gameplay footage that we got was Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights still brings in the most views I ever get for videos. Yeah, but the people that were watching those, Krebsy, I didn't even put them out as because I think I put episodes out, but I didn't notify anybody that they were out. But I linked them to the actual episodes of the thing, so the people that would watch them would go to the next episode. The click-through rate of those was garbage, regardless if I uploaded them all. Even the ones that were silent and me just playing, people didn't really care for them anyway. You were one of 6 people not shitting on it. You know what the funny part was about Hogwarts Legacy? Like, there was no, like, I watch people make videos of like how to find this, how to find that, but you don't really need that because it's in the game. It literally tells you where it is in the game. I didn't find it. So basically the way it works for me is leading up to the game, I can get good views, but once the game's out, it's over. It's over. Right? Gotham Knights leading up to it, right? Hogwarts leading up to it, and then once the game comes out, it's done. So I gotta make that Suicide Squad videos now. I watch less gameplay because interactively goes way down, but that's just me. No, I get it, Reese. And this is why at night I play the video games. But I'm thinking of doing more shows like this. Even instead of gameplay, just on gameplay channel talk about different stuff as well for games. I don't know. I wonder if I do the talk show in the evening, if that would be better than doing it in the morning. That could be something. Because even when we're on the podcast with Lono, a lot of people won't watch me because I'm at the same time as Lono. So I wonder if I do the talk show at night and gameplay during the day, or do other things during the day. That might be something. Maybe I do this during the day on this channel, and then the other channel in the evenings. Couple things I could think of. Yeah, I missed those Gotham Knights numbers, Creature. In the very beginning, those Gotham Knights numbers. When I look at my content compared to other people at my size, like I see people with 6,000, 10,000 people, and they get a fraction of what my views are. Lono Schmomo. I bet tomorrow big topic will be stuff that has come out of Brussels. Yeah. The problem is they have to get enough information before I start my show for me to write something, you know? Like, I didn't even have 1,000 views. I had like 300, 500, and then our channel, we had like 5,000 views. 10,000, 14,000, 10,000. That's insane. I need to capture that again. I'm just stubborn. I am. I'm trying. Creature. I'm less stubborn. I'm telling you, man, my motivation, it's tough being a streamer, man. It's tough. It's tough being a streamer. It's tough being alive, live constantly and talking. Maybe you should do gaming in the morning and then do talk shows in the evening. And 30 steals my own comment. What am I typing? I told you I'm psychic. Jesse. I don't even know if I think it would be a waste for me to do gameplay during the morning as well. I'll be honest with you. I think it's a waste of my time to do gameplay ever. Nobody cares when I play a game. And I get it. Because most of the games I'm interested in are obscure or they're not popular with the masses. And if they are popular with the masses, those people are playing the game themselves and they're not coming around. I got to figure out something. I think Friday nights, I might do a member stream. Either Friday night or Saturday night, I might do a member stream. And what that member stream is, I don't know yet. I like doing the stuff I did way back when we did game night. That might be a thing to do with the member stream type of thing. Oh, I know, Creature, but the small little... They're coming out with an expansion. Season 9 starting with that. I might get it. But again, it's few and far between. It's like, do I... It's almost like this. Maybe my gameplay... Maybe that's what it should be. Maybe my gameplay should be members only. And then after the members only stream, I kind of open it up to everybody else and let the stuff go. But if you want to watch me game, yeah, gotta be a member. I don't know. I don't know. Problem with Saturday nights is I hate streaming on the weekends. I do. I did it for so long. I'm in a better health headspace. Trash and Sony on Xbox always gets views. Starfield not having a date for the showcase. Yeah, I'm so tired of talking about Starfield or not talking about Starfield. I got that glacier water back. That glacier water from the North Pole. Best goddamn water there is. You guys saw the stream this morning. Best goddamn water. Oh, yeah. All right. That's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to do some research for tomorrow. Talk to Creature, probably. And then we'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the a.m. What am I talking about? No idea. Starfield doesn't care if you talk about it. Starfield doesn't care if I talk about it anymore. I listened to something earlier today. I think it was from Juicehead. Is that what it was? And they were talking about how it potentially could just drop. Make a poll with 30 memberships live streaming. What 30 should do. Oh, make a poll, you're saying, Jesse, for the members or just members that can vote on? You know whose content I came across? I've been watching him for a couple weeks. Now. His name is it Luke Stevens? I think it's Luke Stevens. Is it Steven or Stevenson? Luke Stevens.
This video is the culmination of...
Right? So he's got 357,000 subscribers. I watched his old stuff and I watched his new stuff, like when he first started and what he did, and I kind of like what he does. I like his vibe of what he does.